Cool. We'll make it happen. Speaking of making it happen, we are live. Hey, folks, thanks for tuning in to the Wildcards show. Let me play for you our contractually obligated opening music. I'm not hearing this. Are you?
No, me neither. Nope. It's not happening.
That is not happening. Okay. Here we are. We'll go right there. All right. Well, it's a cool song. You'll like it. Hey, there's JM.
Hey,
Oh my God.
JM DeFoggi from Pinnacle is here. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great.
It is good to see you. How was your evening, sir?
It is going well. I apologize for the delays. My computer is giving me all sorts of fits and starts, and so we're on my iPad.
Oh,
Wow. Okay. Nice beard, by the way.
Thank you.
You're rocking it.
I do my best. I do my best.
cool. Well, we are having a show where we're talking about adventures tonight. And oh, hey, we got our first commenter. Grom, how you doing?
Ooh, we got echo. Real
Echo,
bad
echo.
echo.
Mhm. I don't know what to do about that. We'll take JM as troubleshooting though.
All right, here we go. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you. Cool.
All right, we're gonna go with this. I apologize, guys.
No worries, man. It's cool. Well, hey, I tell you what, I have just downloaded Secret World Contagion from Ross. Do you mind if we talk about that briefly before we talk
let's
about
start it?
All right, cool. Ross, for the uninitiated, could you give us a brief introduction to Secret World for Savage Worlds?
I could, but JM would actually be way better at this since he wrote it.
Oh, okay.
No, I mean, I wrote the Adventure Contagion. Ross did the delightful adaptation of. You worked on that, right, Ross?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm the developer for
Yeah.
all the Secret World stuff. So
I love Secret World. Secret World was this great alternate history, modern urban fantasy horror MMO. Like the first time I was playing that game, and you discover that you have a browser, like a web browser in the MMO, and they're like, well, you have to use this for clues. I'm like, are you kidding me? This game was made for me. I think you have to translate a Latin puzzle right off the bat. I'm like, yeah, awesome. So Ross and Brandon were like, hey, would you like to write a Secret World adventure? And I was like, sure, I'd love to. And flipping through, they sent me an advanced copy. I was flipping through the book and reading, and it was bringing back all of these memories. And I loved the filth and filth zombies. Those were kind of my the enemies I love to hate. And so I was like, well, let's do a good old fashioned kind of zombie story. And so the idea of Contagion is a pharmaceutical company has been messing around with things they shouldn't, and have been using filth, which is sort of this corruption of Gaia's energy. And they're like, hey, we've come up with this new anti-cancer treatment. Basically, it's a virus that kills cancer cells. And then it goes horribly wrong as patient zero escapes into Los Angeles, and you guys show up, your team shows up at the lab trying to figure out what happened. And then it's a race to catch the bus that patient zero is on before they can get to
right.
a populated center.
And as a Denver native, I love the fact that it takes place in DIA's tunnels.
Yes.
And Lucifer is there. I mean, it's just it's so cool. It's just awesome for anybody who has ever lived in Denver.
Or even been to the airport
right off the bat, or been to the airport. Yeah, even.
Yeah. Right. The last time I was flying through there, they were doing construction, and they were just leaning into, hey, is this construction for a new wing of the airport, or is this secret lizard kind of coming up out of the ground? I think the one thing that I like, if I can highlight one thing about Contagion that I thought was fun, is don't get me wrong, I love dungeon crawls, and I love moving. I wrote an adventure for Necessary Evil the Return of Dr. Destruction, and I did a lab crawl where you have to go through this old Dr. Destruction lair and go through all the rooms and get all the clues. And I was like, I've done that. What could make this fun? And so the exploration of the lab is actually handled with a dramatic task.
Good idea.
As you accumulate tokens, you unlock other portions of the lab. So the GM is as you're giving out clues at certain threshold, the clue you give out is the access to the next portion of the site or the lab. And so it's still a hunt for clues through the remnants of this zombie infested pharmaceutical lab, but it's handled much more with the dramatic task rules, as opposed to a sort of dungeon crawl, if you will.
We had a show just a little while ago with the guy who runs Pear Tree Studio. He makes really good Savage World stuff. And he was talking about how dramatic tasks and quick combat are just awesome. Quick encounters.
And especially dangerous quick encounters are like the perfect kind of interludes.
We talked about how a dramatic task is excellent for dungeon crawling. It's just if you want to get the feel without getting the tedium, that's a really great way to do it.
Yeah.
That was Pete B. Saloom.
That's right, Pete Saloom.
Yeah.
Well, cool. So this was a fun little adventure, and I'm glad you got work DIA in there. Grom Molotok hasn't heard about the tunnels. Can we tell him about the tunnels?
So under DIA, there are these tunnels that you use to transport passengers between the different terminals. There's a tram that runs, two trams really, that run in different directions. So at any time, you can get from any terminal to any other terminal using these tunnels. But there's numerous conspiracy stories, fun conspiracies, not the other kind, that supposedly the lizardmen, reptilians, live down in the tunnels. And there's a giant blue statue of a horse called Blucifer outside above the tunnels that killed its own sculptor.
Killed the sculptor, and the sculptor wanted laser eyes, and they were like, no, that's a bad thing to have at an airport, but the sculptor's son got like glowing eyes put on there,
like LEDs, like really bright red glowing eyes in the horse's face. But it's just a local landmark, and we're all very proud of it. So good on you, JM, for including that.
Oh, I mean, I love DIA and all of the wonderfully weird conspiracy theories about it. Right, the fact that it came in so far over budget, and if you look at the records, the amount of concrete that they said they were going to need and the amount of concrete that they used, it's off by like a factor. like how did you use 10 to 20 times more concrete?
See, this is why it's such a great location for the Secret World role-playing game, because in the Secret World role-playing game, you can take mysteries like this from our own world and apply them to your campaign, and then tie it in to the overall story of the Secret World, which involves, conflict between cosmic entities and factions on Earth and secret societies. So there's a lot of really cool stuff that can be used from your hometown in the Secret World if you want to. This is just a great example of how to do it.
I would agree. And just to point out, scrolling underneath JM's head right now, tinyurl.com/secret contagion. You can find this adventure right now on Drive Through RPG and check it out.
It's a good one.
It's a good one. So, and Grom actually, he is connected to the conspiracy because he knows what the tunnels, and his dad helped work on the trains. So Grom knows where the reptilians live.
I have often wondered if Grom was not just a lizard in a person suit, and I think I have my.
Very good.
Well, I think this is a part of the podcast we need to pause and acknowledge our sponsors.
We do have a sponsor.
We have a sponsor. Dun dun dun. Star
Anvil
Anvil Studios.
Studios. Thank you very much. We're very proud to be a sponsor of this podcast. This fine artisanal farm to table podcast.
Fine. Fermented for just long enough. Star Anvil Studios has a Kickstarter coming up in the nearest of futures. I want to say in about 10 days.
October, yeah. So it's going to be called Starbreaker Saints and Sinners. It's our first Kickstarter in a new setting called Starbreaker. It's gritty sci-fi with all kinds of. It's basically Mandalorian meets The Expanse. So it's very Edge of the Empire with scum and bounty hunters and criminal syndicates, but there's a lot of really cool alien races and psionics and stuff as well. And Saints and Sinners is a very specific piece of that setting where you can play as a person who has sort of been sent back into the syndicates to kind of destroy them from within. They're called Saints. They're these special agents that have it's a bit like the Suicide Squad or the Dirty Dozen. Like you were a syndicate criminal and then you were recruited for this special program to go in and destabilize the syndicate from the inside. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I urge everybody to check it out. Artwork is fantastic.
The artwork's amazing. I'm very excited about it. There may be another Contagion-like adventure.
What?
Right?
Let's say
space zombies.
Well, not Contagion-like, written,
just written by you is what you mean.
Just written by me.
Gee, Belly, mister, I want some more of that Saints and Sinners Starbreaker stuff. Where can I find out more?
If you want to know more about Saints and Sinners and Starbreaker, you can check out staranvilstudios.com. And we have, do we have a link for the Kickstarter already? I don't think so. Thank you, Grom. He says the artwork is absolutely top notch. I appreciate that.
You can go to the Kickstarter page and be notified on launch.
That's the one link I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Maybe Mike has found that.
I think I might have. Yeah. Here we go. Let me share it, and then I'll do a short link that we can say easily, because I'm a consummate professional. I don't know if you knew that about me, but here we go. Starbreaker Saints and Sinners launching soon. 276 followers. Good God.
Yeah, Brandon's been really kicking a lot of butt. My partner, Starbreaker is his baby. Saints and Sinners is something he's been working on for years, and he's building up that following as fast as he can.
Sweet. So tinyurl.com/starbreakers should get you right there.
There you go. If you heard it here first, folks.
And we put that in a banner, and it's now flowing across the screen.
Woo!
Yay, watch it flow. So, all right, check that out. Now, like I say, launching like 10 days. So this is how you can spend your October. When you're not handing out candy corn and dressing up as the Mandalorian, you can... I guess the Mandalorian's kind of been done, and I mean, they're between seasons and movies. So what are you guys dressing up as this year?
Ooh. I have my evil DM costume that I might put on. I don't know. JM, what are you going as?
I tend to go as a Deadlands Marshal. I'm going to switch to my other camera. My computer finally worked out, if that's all
what?
Right. I know. You get to see all of my HD glory.
I don't know if I can handle JM in HD.
It could be a lot. But
that's a lot. That's a lot of initials.
There we go. Sorry about that, guys.
Savage Universe Community Manager. Wow.
So, is it time to talk about Rites of Madness in spring?
Let's do it.
Yes, okay. I'm so curious. Please tell us all about this.
So
First off, hey, excuse me, sir. Point of order. The tiny URL, because I'm a consummate professional, is tinyurl.com/spring and madness. We'll take you right to this page. This is part of the Savage Saturday Cinema line. Tell us about that.
So the Savage Saturday Cinema line is a once a month adventure that comes out and is basically designed to be more than a one sheet, but not quite a plot point campaign. So we're shooting for 3 to 4 hours, a night of gaming, if you will. And there have been some great ones already. Shane Hensley has done one. I think John Goff did one. This is the one that I have out right now, and it is the Rite of Spring and Madness. So it is based off of the ballet, The Rite of Spring, which sounds like a weird thing to base a horror adventure off of. But when this ballet came out in the early 1900s, it's widely considered to be the first modern ballet. And the music was so discordant, and the dance was so out of the normal, what people were expecting. And the theme for, early 1900s was the sacrifice of a young woman to bring about the new spring, that there was sort of a mini riot in Paris when it happened. And there's reports that the rich people who paid to have what essentially would become telephone lines, they would pipe the music in from the opera and the ballets directly into people's homes, that they were incensed as well. And so I learned about this this ballet. I've seen this ballet, and the story of this first night and how people kind of went a little crazy has always kind of been percolating in the back of my head. And so when Daryl was like, "Hey, do you want to write something?" I was like, "Sure." And he's like, "Well, give me 3 or 4 pitches." And I pitched the Rite of Spring and Madness, the horror companion had just come out. And the idea is that Stravinsky's descendant, the reason people went crazy when Stravinsky put on this play is because he was a Cthulhu cultist, and he was trying to drive people crazy. I mean, not Cthulhu, one of the elder deities provided by the horror companion, but essentially he's a cultist who wanted
legally distinct
Nyarlathotep. We have Nyarlathotep at home. He's driving us all crazy. And so essentially his descendant, the stars are right again, and she has convinced the New York Metropolitan Opera not only to put the Rite of Spring on with all of the original costumes, but to broadcast it live on streaming and stream it to theaters throughout the world. The idea being that if it gets to its completion, the madness will spread throughout the world and summon, the end of days. And so there's 2 ways to run it. You can run it as a very typical paced RPG adventure. Just take your time and enjoy it. And then there what I call hard mode, I guess. I don't know what my language restrictions are on the show, so we'll call it hard mode.
We have explicit tag. You can say fucking hard mode. It's okay.
Okay, sweet. Or if you want to be the GM who fucks with your players, at the start of Act 2, you put the Rite of Spring on, and it's 33 minutes long, and you pause it for combats. But basically, you say, when this thing gets, the players know once the ballet starts that it's over in 33 minutes, and you can put a timer on and say, when the ballet is over, you either have won or you have lost. And if anyone uses that rule, please let me know.
I like it. And so Savage Saturday Cinema is actually a game line of these interesting adventures that are supposed to be like films, basically.
Yeah. Basically, a fun evening, 3 to 4 hours of play, and covering, we've got some generic stuff, like mine's just for the horror companion. I've got one coming out that's a fantasy one. But some of them are set in Deadlands. There will be some of them will be in some of the other Pinnacle worlds. And yeah, the idea is once a month something cool drops, and you can get a group of people together. You got pre-gens that are all tied into the adventure. You got just a little bit of advice for saying, hey, if you're running an ongoing game, here's how you would drop this in. But the idea is that they're self-contained little modular, hey, let's hang out and play Savage Worlds. I think they would be great for that group that only wants to play one game. And you can say, okay, but why don't you guys come over, Saturday, if we normally play this other day, and just let's play this one shot. I bought it. It's all self-contained. There's no pressure to do anything but this one shot. And then you've got it.
There you go. If I may, I have a tagline I'd like to try. If you want to save yourself from silence, sadness, and solitude, try out Savage Saturday Cinema.
Ooh, you know some good alliteration. I'm here for it. I'm here for the alliteration.
Mike just looks like he wants to die, so that's probably good.
That's right. I think that means you earn a Benny.
That's a lot of sibilance going on there. That might be all I can summon.
Well, you don't want us to suffer.
Silence. All right. That's all I got. Well, this is really cool. And as you say, I mean, it's a one shot in a box, right?
Yeah.
So let's say you're playing another game and somebody can't make it. Like, hey guys, I got this right here. Grab a pre-gen, and let's go.
So I can say to our listeners from personal experience, JM is an excellent game master. He's really, really good. And his adventures are in the same style that he GMs, that they're exciting and interesting and have all these fun twists. So as literally someone who has played under GM as a GM, I would say check out his adventures. They're great.
I mean, if we want to call an audible, I can always also talk about
the
Return of Dr. Destruction, which just released as well.
Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, do it. Put that back up. I'm going to put you on solo. You're on solo. Okay, what is this?
So this is the GM Screen Adventure for the Necessary Evil box set, which just released.
Okay.
And I was asked to write an adventure that sort of ties up / brings Invasion and Breakout kind of to where Cosmic Crisis is at, and maybe set the stepping off point to get it, for Cosmic Crisis. And so I love Dr. Destruction. I love his storyline. For those of you who haven't played Invasion, I will not say more. But the idea is Dr. Destruction is back, and he, in a very Silver-Aged Secret Wars sort of way, is attempting to capture and drain the power cosmic from these cosmic robots left behind by a cosmic entity also involved in Invasion. And so you get to go to Star City, you get to go to New York, you got to deal with some of the villains that played a large part in Breakout. And then, of course, because I'm a Jack Kirby fan, the big final fight might take place on a area of the moon that may or may not be of a specific color.
And there's all these weird pipes and like dots on technology and little crackling around anything that's energy based.
Kirby dots are a clear sign of an excellent artist. That's all I'm going to say.
Everybody's got lines on their faces, Yeah. I love it. Just show somebody Thor Ragnarok, the middle section.
Yeah, exactly. The most Kirby movie they have done. Just
correct.
Hands down.
Or the what do you call them? The concept art from Argo. Or any episode of Thundar the Barbarian.
Oh man.
Do you guys remember the cavity creeps from
yes.
the commercial?
We make holes in teeth.
Do you know who designed that?
Jack Kirby.
Of
course.
Jack the King Kirby.
That's right.
He's everywhere. You can't escape him.
No, I've engaged in multiple talks about Jack Kirby this week.
Noted Nazi puncher Jack Kirby.
Yes, like the guy, the Boond showed up at his, where he and Stan Lee were writing Captain America, and wanted to have a word with him. And Jack Kirby, like, was basically the basis for the Thing, or at least the Thing before he became the Rock Monster. He expressed his displeasure in the same way that he drew his displeasure of Captain America, Captain America 1. Just, wow.
Yeah. Old Jack Kirby, man, he was a great guy. Great guy. But the adventure that you've written pays homage to him.
Oh yeah,
in Necessary Evil, and that's really awesome. I like the idea. This is something we never really got to see very much in the Silver Age, but seeing a comic story from the position of the villains would be really interesting in that milieu, if I may.
Yeah, no, and I mean, Kirby created so many great villains. I mean, for me, and I got to, I started a debate with somebody on the Savage Universe stream about this. Like, Darkseid is the better villain to me than Thanos. And when you really start looking at Kirby and Starlin, like, Kirby comes out of World War II, and he gives us a cosmic villain who wants to use anti-life to subjugate all creation. Starlin fought in Vietnam, and he creates a cosmic being that's the ultimate nihilist. Like in the comics, Thanos is literally in love with the personification of death. And I really think that both of them were like, man, the stuff I've seen.
No doubt. No doubt.
I'm going to make this like the embodiment of evil in my mind. So.
Very good points.
We could talk a lot about Kirby. That might be another show, though, because I remember long ago when Ross and I conceived the idea of this podcast in a sleazy hotel room, I said it would always be fast, furious, and fun. And we have hit about the 30-minute limit, which I think is what we were always aiming for. So, bam.
That's right.
So, tinyurl.com/spring and madness. Check it out. It's available right now. Also, let's talk about tinyurl.com/secret contagion for the awesome Secret World adventure we talked about at the top of the podcast. And, what was the
TinyURL Starbreaker.
Starbreakers.
Yep. And don't forget to watch Savage Universe to get more of JM.
Oh. How do we find Savage Universe if one of my viewers isn't familiar with you?
So Savage Universe happens every Thursday night, and it is a show where I get to talk with everybody who is doing something cool in with a PEG license. So we don't talk about the new Deadlands thing. We don't talk about Necessary Evil. We talk about people who are putting out podcasts, people who are doing swag material. I'm going to have Ross and Brandon on to talk about Starbreaker.
So. That's right. And you should get Mike on there to talk about all the cool stuff he's got at Feigning Goat.
Mike, if you're free this Thursday, I have an opening.
I'm not sure if I'm working on a Space Dwarf thing. I'm not sure if I'm ready to announce Starbeards. And all I have so far is a bunch of one-sheets and some art and a really fun hype reel. But that's all I've got.
The hype reel is freaking awesome, and JM, you should watch it and then talk about it on your show.
Okay, done.
Yeah,
100%. And that is how easy it is to get on Savage Universe.
It's an exclusive club.
Yeah, it is. Grom says Savage Universe is on when I can't watch, so I pick it up in reruns. That's how I watch Andy Griffith, so you're in good company. So.
Once Savage Universe gets syndicated, everyone's going to be watching it. There's going to be Nielsen ratings.
That's right. We just got to get to 100 episodes, right?
Yeah.
You'll have Patton Oswalt knocking on your door saying, "Please let me in. I'm in every geek media. I was MODOK. I want to be on your show." It happens. I get a call from him once a year, and I'm like, "No, Patton. No, this is the one thing you can't have." He keeps on calling me though. Well, I might give in one day. I don't know, but the ubiquity of Patton Oswalt is the name of my novel, folks. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. JM, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Ross,
thanks.
This is always fun.
Yeah, thanks for coming on the show, JM. We're really glad to see you.
Hey, I love coming on the show. Anytime you guys want to have me on. I apologize for the technical issues at the start, but
these things can't be helped. It's all good.
That's right.
Grom, good talking to you, sir. Thank you very much for coming out. Everyone in the comments, everyone watching us, appreciate it. And we'll catch you next time on 2 weeks. Wildcards will be back talking to Daryl Hayhurst about Savage Worlds Pacific Northwest.
Awesome.
So be there or be square, true believers. And we will catch you later. See ya.